I like to go on the lower side and work my way up, and I'd rather have 10 of these products because they're easier to manage. What's going on, guys? Today we're gonna do product research. So on-screen tutorial, me finding product ideas. As we all know, product research is probably the most important part of the whole Amazon FBA journey. So I'm gonna walk you through what I look for, what to avoid, what strategies I use, as well as what to look for when it comes to making that final decision. So I do things a little bit differently because I wanna find a product that doesn't just work for 6 months where data looks like it's gonna be fine, but products that are gonna work for a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road. That way you have a real asset that builds over time, and year after year as Amazon grows, your product grows with it. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Cameron James. I've been selling on Amazon going on 6 years now. I founded over 50 plus private label products myself, so I have a good idea of what doesn't work and what does work. So I want you to get inside my brain essentially. That way you don't have to trial and test this thing, essentially what I did when I first started because the knowledge wasn't out there quite yet, and avoid starting 3 products who just failed miserably, which happened to me, lost over $15,000 doing that. If you guys want to learn more about everything Amazon FBA, make sure you subscribe down below. Otherwise, let's get into it. So hopping on my screen here, the tools we're going to be using today, first one is Helium 10, okay? So if you have Jungle Scout, Viral Launch, something else, this will work just like this, but I have to pick one tool, right? And I'm gonna be using Helium 10 for this, okay? So don't go buy other softwares if you don't need them. All these tools are pretty universal. They're just called different things. And you can essentially copy and paste everything I do here. If you do need Helium 10, I do have a link down below to get 20% off your first 6 months or 10% every month. You can use that there. Again, link down below. But again, make sure you're not just going out there and buying every software just because you see other people use it. Of course, do what's best for you. Next, we're gonna be using this Excel sheet, okay? So this goes pretty deep here. I'm gonna go as deep as I possibly can to explain things for you, but we need something to track ideas, okay? So the big thing in Amazon FBA product research is that we might not necessarily know if it's a good idea or not. So we need to essentially write these ideas down. As we get more knowledgeable over time and keep doing this over and over again, we'll have a big list where we can reevaluate products with our new knowledge, as well as just make sure we're being organized, everything like that. Next tool, obviously, Amazon's going to be a big part of this, and looking at products and going down rabbit holes, trying to figure out where does the data fit, as well as I'm gonna be talking a lot about how to get 2 steps ahead in the competition. Now, this is all about making sure this product doesn't last for just 6 months, but a year, 2 years, 5 years down the road. So I'm gonna be getting into that as we discover more product ideas and making sure you realize my process of figuring out what those 2 steps are, right? Over time, I'm gonna explain this more and more as we go through the video. If you guys need to take notes, obviously get a notepad, bookmark this video so you can come back whenever you need. But essentially, we'll be looking at value adds, bundles, niching down, hitting certain demographics, being creative, as well as looking at the data side of things, okay? There's so many ways we can get 2 steps ahead. It may be just we look different in this category, right? Which I'll talk about a little bit more because we wanna stand out. We don't wanna blend in with the waves and waves of competition all coming in. Another big thing we'll use is Google Trends as well. So making sure that our product is trending up. Again, there's no such thing as a perfect product idea. Like it's almost impossible to find a 10 out of 10 product idea. There's always gonna be pros, there's always gonna be cons. But if we can get to 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, this is usually a good sign that we're on the right path. Again, you'll never feel 10 out of 10 with a product idea. It's just not the way it works, right? So going back to Helium 10, I wanna make sure I go over the tools I'll be using today here. So Blackbox, this is your basic web app, a product research software that we'll go through. I use this just to get ideas, right? We can put our criteria in, which you'll see how I do that. But for me, engineering background, engineering brain, my creativity is not great. So I need something to jumpstart that, which we'll use that. We'll also use the magnet tool for keyword research. I'm big into the data, but as well as we need to be creative on the backside as well. It's just not good enough anymore to just use data. We need to get 2 steps ahead, add value, everything like that. You'll also probably see me use Cerebro here. So this is a reverse product lookup tool. So if I'm in certain categories, I might reverse ASIN look up this product to make sure I'm finding the best keywords in that niche. Now, of course, there's tons of other tools in here which I use when it comes to selling on Amazon, like Keyword Tracker, Profit Tracker, all that good stuff down here. If you guys want me to make a more advanced tutorial on Helium 10, just let me know down in the comments below. But otherwise, I'll be mainly focusing on just product research today. So let's go to Blackbox here and let's start to see if we get any ideas flowing. So we have the product category here, but I like to go to the keywords tab because I like to look for niche down keywords. Again, something I can dominate a specific demographic of maybe a broader market, which hopefully I can get some examples here for you today. This is all freehand, by the way, guys. This is not scripted. This is the way product research really is. And so I want you to see me go through this real time for you here now. So in the keyword section here, I'm going to do 1,000 searches per month here to 5,000 to kind of max out. Now, these are not specific as in they need to be exactly copied here. Again, we can mess with these a little bit. If we got to go to 500 to 5,500 to 10,000, it depends on your budget, depends on what we're looking for, but I mess around with this quite a bit. It's just a good wheelhouse to kind of start in. For revenue, I want, let's say 3,000 to 10,000. Again, I like to kind of find products that maybe are on the lower side so I can dominate quickly, but maybe if we go back to Google Trends, this is something that's gaining popularity over time and something that's going to grow, and we can dominate that market a lot easier than just trying to figure out a higher edge market and trying to, spend ad money to get back up there and give away tons of products or thousands of reviews behind, right? We don't want this. We want to start low, high margins, and let time do the work, especially if our budget's smaller. Doesn't mean you can't go for higher volume products. You just need to know the pros and cons of that to make sure you have the budget to back it up, as well as the skills, right? So people in $50,000 markets per month, they're going to know what they're doing. And if this is your first product, we might need to start a little bit lower where those angry fish or that bloody market isn't quite there yet. Something we could dominate early and let time and our review and our stranglehold on the rankings there do all the work for us. Next, we look at price here. So we will go $13 minimum. Let's go 55 max. We don't want prices too low here because the FBA fees are fixed fees and they're going to eat away our margin a lot more here. $55 is kind of max here. You can go to 100, 150, but your order is going to be a lot more expensive, right? If you have a $30, $40 product, whatever it may be, and you get 1,000 units of those, well, that's like $30,000. So the higher price point you go, the more expensive your first order quantity will be. So keep that in mind. Review count here. Let's go somewhere. Let's go like 5 here to, let's go 450 for this example. Review rating, we can mess with this if we want to find improvements we can make. But when I first put in criteria, I usually leave this alone. Word count, I want long tail keywords here, guys. So I want something that we can niche down into. So I want a minimum of a word count of 4. So it means our phrases that people are searching on Amazon have at least 4 words in them. As we get longer tailed keywords, so say 5 or 6 words in a phrase, well, that's a lot more specific, right? And so we can kind of niche down or just hit that certain demographic a lot easier. I don't put a max here just because it could be 8 words, it could be 7, it could be 4, whatever it might be. So scrolling down here in advanced filters, we want to select our categories here. So let's do arts, craft, and sewing. Let's say out of baby, beauty, and personal care. Actually, let's do beauty and personal care. As you can see, I'm not glued to any one category. I just kind of go with whatever I'm feeling that day. Keep going down, keep going down. Let's see here. Home and kitchen, yes. Industrial scientific, yes. Kitchen and dining, yes. Office products, okay. Patio, lawn, and garden. Pet supplies, tools and home improvement. Sports and outdoors are okay. Some of these are fringe, kind of sometimes I use them like baby, sometimes I don't. For the example here, let's do the 9 selected here. You can put keywords in here, exclude keywords. Shipping size, let's do small standard size, large standard size, small oversized, and even medium oversized. We don't want to get into washing machines down below here. That's where we get really big. But again, if you want to specialize in this stuff, there could be an opening in that market because everyone wants to avoid that, right? Usually the hardest areas to sell in are the most open markets. It just takes a little more work or a little bit more knowledge. Number of sellers, don't really care about. Variation count, don't care about right now. Monthly sales, don't care about because mostly we're just talking about revenue here. I don't care about how many units they're moving just because as long as we're in that revenue, I'm happy. Best sellers rank, don't care about right now. Best sales period, if we're doing seasonal products, I would mess with that. Fulfillment, don't care about that as well. Age, competing product, title density, stuff like this, I don't really care about. But again, if we're looking for more selective products, things that you really want to hone into, these would be the things you mess with later, right? We might do that a little later in this video, depending on how the research goes. So let's hit search down below here to get this going. And then we can scroll down and start to see all these keywords populate, right? Essentially what people are searching on Amazon with real data. So we can see paper towel rolls for crafts, 1,018 searches per month. So we're kind of on the lower range of what we're looking for. Doesn't mean it won't work, just kind of gives us those trends right there, okay? So we see Dazzle Dry Mini Flight. So what I'm gonna do is start opening up ones I am curious about. Usually I just go based on whatever I feel, my intuition kind of thing, things that are unique, things I haven't heard about before. So things like bamboo cutting boards, like I don't care about that because it's usually a pretty saturated niche. Cutting boards are pretty broad and I don't want to be in that market. So keep going down here, expression twisted up, springy Afro twist. That one's interesting. So we can go over here, hit view on Amazon. And what I like to do is open up a bunch of tabs as I go through this. Let's see, window and door alarms for homes, dishwasher spray arm, feeder, Samsung, washing machine. If you guys start to see a lot of brands that just keep repeating themselves, you can put those in the exclusion keywords. Washing machine outlet box, paver molds for concrete. Let's open that one up here. Go back. Dazzle Dry, nail polish colors, Whirlpool, Earthborn, holistic cat food wet, floating candles, Harry Potter, and we can just keep going page by page here. Keep scrolling down. Gold painting kit for adults. That one's interesting. Never heard about that before. Could be something we look into. Magnetic swiveling bit tip holder, donut pillow for ear, Easter throw pillow covers. So you start to see some seasonal stuff pop up depending on what time of the year it is for you guys. Stray Kids the sound, garage door remote, pink compass, grass decor, gamer curtains for boy bedroom. That one's interesting here. I know gaming is increasing. Let's see, hand rest for nails tech, tabletop fire pit bull. No, I would stay away from that market. I just see so many people talking about it. Under cabinet wine rack. Let's see, St. Patrick's Day door hanger. Again, if we want to get into seasonal stuff, which is a whole nother pretty much video we can get into. Fixture replacement globes and shades, wallpaper decor living room. Let's see, let's keep going down. St. Patrick's Day again, evil eye bracelet kit. Let's see if we can find at least one more before we start getting on Amazon here. Let's see, comfort lip oil. Let's see, keep going down here. Mylar bags for food storage, 5 gallon. Collagen threads for wrinkles. Let's see here. Actually, let's go back to the collagen threads. That one was actually pretty interesting. And then we'll do one more page here before we get into it. Let's see, let's open that one up. I'm just more curious than anything here. Let's go to page 4 now. Go down, hairline wig, stamp cross stitch kits, instant dry sink organizer, basket labels clip on. Let's see, Hello Kitty, obviously stay away from brands there for doing private label. Knife sheet for belts. Let's see, keep going down. Fuzzy ball hand towel. Okay, usually I'm not a big fan of hand towel stuff like that, but we'll take a look anyways. Fast drying stone sink kit. That one's interesting here. We'll open that one up. Bulbs for spring planting. Big green egg cover. Okay, that one catches my eye. Let's open that up. Okay, now let's go back to our Amazon ideas. So we have a twisted up springy afro twist. Okay, so that one's interesting, of course, something you could push on TikTok, but look at it, it all looks the same right here. We literally have the same model over and over again for a lot of this stuff. You know, some of this is it's just a feel, guys, and based on my experience as I move my head just to make sure you guys can see everything okay. But this is something that doesn't interest me at all. Okay, if there's something I want to go dig deeper on, I'm going to go ahead and just put this in magnet tool, right? So just to show you an example of that, we go to helium 10 here and then go over here to the magnet tool. Let's see if I can find it right here. What I'm going to do is like, okay, there's a hair trend here, twisted up springy afro twist. Okay, I'm not really interested in that, but maybe there's other keywords here that I can get into. So let's go to afro twist here, copy this, go back to magnet, put this in, hit get keywords. What this is going to do is just pull up related keywords, okay? And I can sort by here the magnet IQ score. So essentially what this score does, it gives me the best products based on if there's less competitors versus the search volume. So it takes 60,000 here in this equation with competing products over here, and this is how they get the score. Now, this isn't perfect by any means, but I start by this just to give me the best chance to see what has the most potential here. Now we see search volume between 60,000, 20,000, 31,000 here. Okay, so let's go back to search volume right here. Let's go back to our 1,000 to 5,000 here. So let's, again, we're doing this because I don't want to compete in a keyword that has 60,000 search volume because that's usually dealing with, you know, $50,000 to $100,000 a month. I don't want to be in those markets. I've been in those markets before, and it's dog eat dog. You get to micromanage it. It takes so much money to keep ranking up. There's more black hat stuff going on in those markets that are going to be more aggressive to your listing and potentially have to deal with that. I like to go on the lower side and work my way up, and I'd rather have 10 of these products than one of those 50 to 100K products because they're easier to manage. I don't want to create another 9-to-5 job here, so I want to do things that also give me time freedom, right? This is just based on starting 50 plus products and understanding like what this stuff takes. So if we open up Scala Passion Fruit, let's take a look at this. So this is a brand, so we want to stay away from that, but it could give us some ideas of what some of these other markets are. Potentially we make our own, but for this, let's stay away from that. We see a lot of Scala here. Curl sponge. Okay, that one's kind of new, never heard of that. So we see sponges here. Something as simple as this, I usually stay away from because it makes more competition come in because it's like, anybody can source this, right? This usually ends up being someone's first product that ends up failing. So we want to stay out of that market there. But you guys start to see what I'm going to start doing here is I'm going to go through these types of things to get more ideas, find more products that potentially I've never heard of before. So we see wigs, afro picks, all sorts of stuff here. So I don't really like this market in general, so let's stay out of there. And I'm going to go ahead and exit out of that. Let's go to our next product, paper molds for concrete. So if we scroll down here, guys, we see different molds here. I already see that we have different shapes, different kind of pictures. These pictures are kind of low quality here, but we know we could potentially just start more designs. We see this one right here is pretty unique, high price point. Let's go into Helium 10 Chrome extension, which once you're in Helium 10, you can just go ahead and download this to your Chrome browser. And we could pop up right here. So we see the search volume over time. We go to all, we see it's really big here in the springtime, then kind of settles down and then pops back up during springtime again. So it's a little seasonal here, but not anything crazy. Obviously in the South, people are always doing this kind of stuff because the temperature stays kind of more level, but we see we can make different designs potentially, right? So this is something maybe I go on YouTube or Pinterest to see custom designs that potentially I could test and try here. So I do like this one to the sense I can make new designs and have some leeway to go there. What I do with something like this is I'd probably start 4 to 5 different variations at once. In my personal opinion, that's a con there because again, we're gonna need more product. It's gonna be harder to manage. We're gonna have a lot more variations and potentially our bill is gonna rack up a little quicker. But it doesn't mean that it won't work. If the opportunity is there, we could definitely look more into it. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go ahead and paste this right here and I can link this product page if I can find it. I can link this product page to make it easier. If there's a certain product you're looking at, you can just link that product itself. But I like to make sure I have the kind of the keyword here, put paste here. And even can make a little notes section here and put in here everything I'm finding about it. That way I can come back and I know exactly what's going on. So seasonal in spring, could want more variations, 4 to 5 to test, could look elsewhere for inspiration. Okay, so these are notes just again, just kind of make sure that I know what's going on there. You can even do keyword volume. And so we have the keyword right here. We know it's about 1100 right now. So we can do 1100 per month. And again, you guys can organize your sheet in any way, form, fashion, whatever is best for you. Okay. But this is something, again, if we go back and look just the sales in general, this is something you want to check out too. So we see this top one here is sponsored. So we want to kind of ignore that one. We can even get rid of this one right here, but trash, right? So we just want to look at the organic listings. We want to get rid of the sponsored because they're paying to be there. So it's not a natural reflection of Amazon's organic ranking for these types of products, right? We know the top guys here are more congruent with Amazon for this keyword. They're probably doing the most sales here, everything like that. So it gives us a better sense of what this market truly is. So we can see 5,000 a month here, 9,000 here, 4,000, 11,000, 4,000. Something I want to see is a little bit of sales depth, right? So if we go down, I see 3,000 here, 2,000, 5,000. Why I want to look for sales depth, we see 8,000, 6,000 here, is because we don't want to be hamstrung to being ranked in the 1, 2, 3 spot before we make any sales. We want to know if we rank for this keyword that we can be on the bottom of page 1, page 2, and still get sales and work our way slowly. This is great because when you start out, you're going to be ranked back there. You're going to have 0 reviews, everything like this. When it's top heavy and doesn't have sales depth, you have to sit there and spend so much money on reviews, trying to do PPC, rank up, and you're getting no sales. And you really don't know if that product's going to work until you get to the top 3. Well, that's a huge investment and a huge risk just to see if a product works. So we want to see sales depth through this market, which we do see. Now, I know a lot of people ask me about these rankings right over here that Helium 10 gives you. I know Jungle Scout gives you the same thing. I don't give 2 poos about this ranking here. I'm trying not to swear there just for the fact that the YouTube algorithm doesn't like that. So pardon my childish swearing there, but essentially I don't care about this right here. I'm going based on my knowledge, what I think will work. If everybody follows this, they're all going to do 9s and 10s anyways, and it's going to become a saturated market and end up being a 3s market anyways. So I don't care about any of this stuff right here. If you're always thinking about that, well, this is a red marker, whatever it is. Well, I don't care about this at all because we can find a different angle in the market if we think this is too saturated, whether that's different variations, looking different on the photo here, the main image, and even go deeper into Magnet to see if there's more long tail keywords we can use possibly to differentiate yourself, okay? So again, these are just ideas that we're gonna polish later. Next, we have gold painting kit for adults. Okay, so go down here. We see that this one is a little bit more, we don't have this wide array of products that go 4 deep right here. This usually tells me this keyword volume is a little bit lower, but it could be category to category, potentially of how Amazon does it. So we see 1100 in search volume here all time. Again, this is really just taken off. So we see it's a really low search volume right here. It's really taken off right now. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe there's some news about gold going on right now, but what we could do is go back to the Google Trends here. And if I could type, we put in gold painting and see what pops up. So we hit this, it's in the United States. Let's go back to the last 5 years and see what's going on here. So we see this little ups and downs. So it is a little seasonal and it hasn't really gone up by any means. If anything, it's kind of fallen over the years, but nothing that really alarms me, okay? So maybe there's news. So gold painting, news. Okay, so we go to news here, hit the little category, move my face again here. So Soma resumes mining operations at El Bridge, temporarily suspends mining, top 10 largest gold mining companies. So I don't see anything here that potentially caused this spark on Amazon per se, and I don't see it on Google Trends either. So we don't see this huge spike up right away. We'd see this, go right to 100 if there's better news going on here. So maybe it's just becoming more of a popular product on Amazon. But again, this is just one data point we look at. This isn't a perfect science by any means. We're just looking for clues, looking for pros, looking for cons to make our final decisions later. So starting to look at the sales here, we see 2 sponsored listings. We can get rid of those here. Trash those, remove, and then go down here. We see 2,000, 20,000, 11,000, 10,000. That's a sponsored listing, 7,000, 5,000, 15,000 sponsored listing, 2,000, everything like that. Let's scroll down and take a look at what all these look like. Okay, so very similar. We have kits already being created. So we really can't do that because everybody's already doing that anyways. Okay, so we see single ones here. Well, the kits are going to replace the single ones just because that's the natural evolution of Amazon products. We see bigger pieces here, good price point there, $25, $50, $60. We keep going down. We have a metal detector, that's interesting. So metal detector for adults, professional waterproof. Okay, so that's something to think about. But what ultimately, because I don't really like this niche, I'm being honest, I don't like this product in general. But ultimately, the biggest takeaway I have from this is like, there's a whole gold discovery market, right? There's products evolved around just finding gold. So I wonder if there's anything else in the gold market that potentially we could use and figure out. So this is where, I wish I had 16 hours to do product research with you guys, but this is where, coming back every single day, 1 to 2 hours a day, almost like it's math homework, which I know people hate that reference, but essentially that's what product research is. It's something you can't cram in one day and figure out exactly what product you're going to sell. It's like, I do this nerdy example because I was an engineering student and I had to do like Calc 4, differential equations and stuff. Like I learned I couldn't cram anymore. Like I had to do a little math work per day. Then one day it finally clicked. I think the same thing is true about product research. You need to come back to this 4 to 5 times a week, 1 to 2 hours a day at least, and just keep looking, keep discovering, keep messing around. It's not a perfect science. You're going to feel lost sometimes. That's totally normal, but things will get better as you go. That's why it's so important, again, to keep track of all your ideas. So you can always come back as you start to learn more, get more comfortable, everything like that. So we put gold planing kit in here, hit get keywords, let that load, scroll down here, and let's sort by Magnet IQ score again. Okay. So let's see here. We have rock tumbler, green pan, metal detector. So we already right there, that's relevant to our niche. Potentially it's something we could kit together. Sandbox, gold rush, panning kit, flour sifter. Okay. So I'm not liking this sporadic things we're getting here. So I'm going to go to phrases containing. I'm going to put gold because I want every keyword related to gold here. Okay. So now we just have keywords with gold in them. So let's expand that out a little bit here. Gold pan, gold rush nugget bucket. Okay. That's new. What's a bucket here? So we have a bucket, gold rush bucket here. So there's actually buckets we can use for this. I didn't see that in any of the green pans that we were looking at, right? So we see some bowls here. These are just panning devices. And so we're already starting to see there's different things in this market. Gold painting kit for adults, which we're looking at. Pay dirt, gold mining. Okay, so that sounds a little different. So let's see here. We have gold pay dirt, 1 pound bag of pay dirt. I'm not sure what the heck that is. If the gold market's something I want to dig more into, this is where I'd start to learn like, okay, what the heck is this product? So what does this even mean? What is pay dirt and how is this used? So if we go to reviews here, this is probably the most accurate pay dirt I've seen. It's not always consistent, but every few bags there is gold. Okay, so it's gold and pay dirt that essentially you can mine yourself to get to start. So maybe if we're doing a kit that you include this with you. So we see this already being done right here. So someone's already thought about this. So this is something where, again, this is kind of another red flag to me. It's like, well, everybody's thinking about the things I'm thinking about. I want to be the guy 2 steps ahead, not someone else here. And so this is something that's interesting, but again, kind of a red flag where it's like, I might hang my hat up a little bit as far as looking at this gold market. Okay. So we keep going down just for fun here, essentially. And I don't see Gold Finder Detective. I just don't really see anything that catches my eye here. So I'm going to exit out of that. I'm not going to use gold here for that. So let's exit out of that. Let's go to gamer curtains for boys' bedroom here. So we see, a controller here. Again, this is something that we can have multiple designs, just like this person right here. So we see this person's already got a ton of designs. So it's something maybe we want to stay away from. Got 1,000 reviews. They're pretty much doing what the top level seller would do in any market, and they're kind of dominating this niche. Let's look at the sales to confirm that. We go to Helium 10 right up top here, hit X-ray. And go down, we see 10,000, 14,000, 14,000, 13,000, 12,000, 8,000. So we see some sales going along here, but I just see a lot of competitors. So people already have a ton of variation. So this is kind of scaring me away right here. But something I might do to learn more about this market is click into here, go down and see what else people are buying with this product. So frequently bought together. Yeah, sorry, this with the Chrome extension, you got a lot of pop-ups. So I know it's kind of clunky on my end, but we see just other curtains being bought. Okay, so that's not what we want. We want to see if there's any other products that potentially that go with it that discover more essentially markets. Actually, this one right here is actual canvases with gamer stuff on it. So this might go back to, okay, canvas gaming art. We could type in right here again, if I could spell. Let's see here, and then we could pop up different designs here. So we see no reviews here. This is something we could put into Magnet as well to see what's going on here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up in X-Ray to see what's going on. And we see the 5-piece game roof canvas is $26,000. Otherwise, we don't see any sales at all. We see 20 search volume right up here. Hopefully you guys can see that without my face blocking it. But 5 pieces game room canvas. So I don't really care about this keyword so far, but this is telling me if they're doing $26,000 in sales, there's other keywords that are driving sales to this listing right here. How we look at that is I click right here, run Cerebro. And what I'm going to do here is take organic rank. I'm going to do 1 through 10 here. Okay, so it's going to show me all the keywords, this ASIN right here. So that product is ranking organically spots 1 through 10. Then I'm going to scroll down here and hit search by search volume here. So we see game room decor, 12,000 searches, by far is the most, 630, 304, this one right here. So this keyword is probably what's driving most of the sales. If I scroll over, I can see this is ranked 6 overall in this keyword. Now, 12,000 again is not search volume I want to mess around with and focus on, especially when it's a broad term like room decor, because that's going to be a window shopping product where it's all about whatever catches that person's fancy that day or whatever they're interested in. They're gonna do a lot of browsing. Well, this sucks because your PPC is gonna be less effective here. It's gonna be really hard to rank here. So this is something I see as a broader goal in the future. This is not a keyword I'm gonna go for right away, but something eventually that could be a pro, because when I start to dominate my long tail keywords in whatever area I'm focusing on, this is the ceiling, right? Eventually ranking for this keyword right here is the ceiling. So we see a neon sign. Again, this could be another way to get ideas going for different products in the gaming field. We see an alien here. You're smart, you're brave, you're loved, you're kind. So we see all sorts of products right down here. We see an actual arcade game. We see LED strip lightings for the back of TVs, cherry thing here. So cherry neon sign. So this would obviously be something we could do a lot of variations in again. We see a lot of controllers, a lot of PlayStation symbols here. So that kind of concerns me as, okay, the people are looking for one type of product and it's usually based around, PlayStations and controllers. So there's not a lot of variation room there. But let's go ahead and look at sales just to be curious here. Let's see if this is seasonal too, just out of curiosity. A little spike here during Christmas, which makes sense to be gifts for kids. 61,000 here, 22,000, 65,000, 39,000, 808,000. Okay, so this is a pretty big category that kind of scares me. Like I don't want to go and compete here. But again, it's something we could go look for if we go up to here, type in a new keyword and put in that keyword gaming home decor. I believe that was the keyword here. It should be close enough. Let that load. But what I'm doing here is I'm trying to find long tail keywords that potentially I can niche down into, right? Because I don't want to go that broad, but potentially there's something here where we can focus on. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is go to search volume and I'm going to do 500 this time because it's a really broad market and I want to really nail something in as far as, a long tail niche. Let's go to 4,000 here to see if there's anything. Word count at least 4. Okay, so minimum here, then hit apply filters. And then I'm gonna go to Magnet IQ score, sort by that. And we know in search volume, everything's gonna be between 500 to 4,000 there, what I put in there. But let's go ahead and put this out here. So you got the golden spoon, man cave stuff for men. So that is a whole new market just opened up, right? So I never would have thought about this in a million years. And so man cave stuff is a rabbit hole potentially we could go down to. You see how I got one product idea, or I guess I put up 7 or 8, and it keeps leading me down more rabbit holes. That's why the more time you put into this, the better. Because now I can go to the man cave market and then there's probably endless products for this, whether it's cozies, signs, old beer cans, or whatever it may be, fridges, dart boards, gaming console shelves, old antiques, and we can just keep going down and down and down, okay? But for this example, let's try to find something more gaming. Maybe we'll come back to Man Cave here a little bit later. Dartboard for kids. Let's go to that one here. So we can see different dartboards for kids, usually magnetic here. Let's keep going down. A little bit too saturated for my taste here. Let's go back to the tool here, exit out of that just to be a little bit more organized. Let's see, life-size Connect 4 game. So let's go to that one here. I know this is gonna be super seasonal. Let's see, this is something you could potentially make at home too, if you got the craftsmanship. But the wooden ones, obviously you can get source still there. Plastic ones are all over the place too. But we see a lot of these same things here. So unless we have a unique spin, which again, I'm not coming up with that. That'd be part of the 2 steps ahead, right? So what I'm really looking for, and it's hard to think and kind of show you guys what I'm doing here just because I suck at multitasking, but I'm trying to look for things like, I'm going into markets, be like, oh, this isn't being done. And it just kind of clicks, right? But again, we're just kind of doing the beginning search here as far as all this goes. So my first thought is maybe we have a Jenga set with a Connect 4 set here, right? And obviously we can't put Connect 4 in here because that's a trademark word, but we could definitely do large tower. We can't say Jenga here either because it's a brand. When we say wide 4 in the row game here, right? So we know it's not Connect 4. We'll eventually rank for Connect 4, which is totally fine because that's how people know it, right? Go Sports 3-foot width giant board game, whatever it may be here. So potentially we bundle this with a small version, large version. Maybe we have different games involved here. It's a whole set that someone could get for Christmas or a gift. Obviously this will be seasonal in the summer because it's outdoors usually. So going back to magnet here, let's find a few other ideas if we can. Floating shelf for under TV, PlayStation light up sign, Connect 4 outdoor games. Seen a lot of that. Xbox shell wall mount. Let's go to wall mount because that's interesting to me because what I'm seeing here is that there's a lot of like neon stuff going on. There's a lot of this stuff going on as far as like, it's got to look in the gaming community. It's got to look good too, right? So obviously this looks clean. These all look clean, but guess what I'm not seeing here? I'm seeing no shelf with neon lights attached to it. So this is kind of my first click in my head of like, okay, if we see all this gaming home decor and it looks the way it looks, like the neon lights, really kind of bright, trippy lights, things like that, why do none of these shelves for gaming consoles have this included with it, right? If someone's setting up a gaming lounge, things like that, they probably want lights around it. They probably would think that's pretty cool. We also see like, controller setups, everything like that. So maybe ours has a shelf for the console as well as places they can put their headsets, everything like that. So this right here really interests me, okay? And this is all by going down rabbit holes. So let's go to X-ray here. And we could do PlayStation shelf wall mount. We could do Xbox here. But for this example, let's use Xbox. So we see over time, it's kind of on the lower side, but we see 220,000 for floating shelf, 25,000, 34,000, 62,000, 11,000, 9,000 here. So we're starting to see quite a bit as far as this goes. We'll see this one has some neon lights, but they're kind of lame. Let's see, this one has no lights, just really colorful. I'm still seeing no lights, right? So potentially this is a way, an angle into this market, and we could just dominate this keyword right here. Maybe we would just do for Xboxes. We see there's quite a bit of competition here with reviews, but if I was going to go on the more competitive side, this is something I would entertain for sure, enough to put down in my keywords here. So I'm going to go back, hit copy, go back here, paste this. I'm going to grab that link here too, go back, put this. I'm going to put competitive market, but no one has neon lights or trippy lights that you see in the gaming community, as well as you can add holders just for Xbox accessories and just dominate the market for that one console. So this is the stuff I'm putting in here, right? Because it's going to remind me what's going on. So I really do like this one just because my budget usually is a little bit bigger these days. And I think it's something that I can get 2 steps ahead on because I'm going to look different. My photos are going to be much different than these because I'm going to be literally glowing, right? I'm going to have glowing lights that essentially maybe stand out versus all this competition here. Now, it doesn't mean this product doesn't exist elsewhere, if I do with neon lights here, but I'm just seeing a keyword where there's nothing there that I could target first, right? Because we want the data, we want the angle of the market. Okay, so we see here neon lights. We go through neon lights as well, but nothing on the shelf itself. Okay, so that's, again, another positive sign. So I really like that idea, but has broader markets with high volume products. Okay, so that's a con there. Of course, I want to note that as well. So Xbox shelf wall mount. And guys, again, if I had hours here, I'd be looking into PlayStation stuff, just ones that could possibly fit both. Maybe mine does fit both, but I gotta look into the PlayStation market as well, make sure that makes sense to see if I can actually do both pretty easily. If not, I'm just gonna focus on the one console, and then eventually my first product addition is something that fits the PlayStation, right? But we gotta look at that data as well. So right there, why I'm so fascinated about that product is because I know I can get 2 steps ahead. I can have neon lights, I can have things that hold the accessories, it stick out. I'm gonna add value by adding other things to it eventually. I'm going to add value by doing those things, and I'm going to be congruent in the gaming niche that I know is growing year after year because gaming is not going anywhere, right? We just know this, right? Especially after 2020, we all know that people are gaming more than ever. So that's the first example of what I mean by getting 2 steps ahead, right? We're going to essentially be 2 steps ahead of the market, and it's going to be harder for people to copy us to add all that stuff we're going to be adding in as well, essentially. Because the more we add to our product, that's going to deter competition because it's like, that product looks complicated. I can't go source that. Beginners can't go source that, right? Yes, it can be a little harder if you are a beginner, but I'd rather you spend an extra month on your product development than just starting a brand new product, because again, we're in this for the long term, not just for a quick buck, not just for 6 months, but for years. So we're going to deter people with beginning skills from entering our market, which we know is the biggest section or demographic of Amazon FBA. It's beginners. People come and go in this market all the time. So we want to do something that deters beginners from doing it. And that's again why I like to go 2 steps ahead. The data is a little fuzzy there, but essentially I think I could make that work as far as the competitive advantage I'd have in that field. And I could start small even if I wanted to, because there's some long tail keywords that have only 900 search volume. Okay, so let's look at collagen threads for wrinkles here. So the beauty category is tough, right? It's really tough to break into. There's a lot of money in this industry. I'm not sure. I just really wanted to see what this thread lifting is. We see some bad reviews here. Vitamin C serum. Let's go ahead here. Take a look if I could. So it's like a serum instant protein thread lift. My face is probably in the way, so I just moved that for you guys there. Make sure you guys can see the photos. This is it's a weird product. Let's go to ratings here to see what I can see from people. It's a lot of broken. This one has terrible reviews. Usually I avoid markets with a lot of competitors with terrible reviews, because usually if no one's figured it out yet, you probably can't figure it out either. I don't like to be in a market where it's all 3.5 stars, 2.8 stars, because no one's ever happy. It's just whoever can maintain the highest star rating for the longest makes a quick buck, and then they exit and the next guy pops up. And these are just dirty markets that usually have a lot of, Chinese manufacturer competitors, a lot of people who do black hat stuff, take over listings that have 5,000 reviews, make a quick buck. And then essentially once the bad reviews start flooding in, they just do it over and over again, and you have to compete with those people. We want to stay out of that. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of that one here. Fuzzy ball hand towel, again, something that'd be easy to manufacture. So this is alarm to me because I don't want beginners to get into this product either. It's gonna be saturated, it's gonna be a price war. I don't wanna be in that market. Obviously we can go through things here and go see if there's products recently bought with this one as well. Again, sorry about the pop-ups. 6-pack cute Chanel soft hanging towels. So maybe you could potentially make a kit. I like these cute towels, just the fact of you can have different variations of them. So this is something I might run Cerebro on just to see what keywords are ranking for. Again, to give me another avenue, another rabbit hole to go down to. So we see 4,000, 2,000, 2,000. So it's probably not doing anything too crazy here, but we can go ahead, select these and run Cerebro on, which we'll do real quick. As well, I want to show you a little hack here. If we go into here, okay, so you saw those 3 variations. How do we determine which one is the better selling a variation? Well, it's not a perfect science, but we can open up review analysis, go to review analysis here, go to product variations here, and we see 31 of the reviews have come through the one size color gray, pink, green, sky, blue, orange. So that gives us a clue of what the best selling one is, which is this, which looks like the other ones aren't even available yet. So that makes sense there. So that's not the best recommended thing there, but we can infer that if it has the most reviews, whatever variation it is, that is the highest selling one. And if we're going to pick one variation to start with, because maybe we can't afford the 6 variations, that's how we could decide which one potentially we start first. Just a little tidbit there, guys. Let's go to Cerebro here. And let's see here, which is right here. You can put multiple keyword ASINs in here, which I did by selecting them all. Let's go 1 through 15 here because there's a little bit of lower volume, and hit apply filters. Again, just to kind of show you how this works. Let's go by search volume, and we see kids hand towels pop up here. So we can go over here, kid hand towels, and we can start to look at this whole niche, which we see them ranking right here. We see this guy at top here. Pretty low reviews for these kids' little friendly towels. I don't see a ton of competitors pop up totally there. Let's look at the sales over here. Let's see what's popping up here for us. So we see 2,000, 5,000, 9,000, 10,000. That's not terrible. That's actually pretty good. All time here is kind of down a little bit. Okay, that's super interesting because this, I'll just make a crap ton of variations for to test out the market. A cute design. I really like this design here. Something that's gonna be friendly, kid friendly. Maybe things we can add on to here that other kids need when they're learning, you know, proper hand washing as kids. So I'd start looking deeper into that market as far as figuring out what mothers want, what parents want to teach their kids proper hygiene. Now, I don't personally have kids myself, but maybe you do. And this could be some inside knowledge you could use, like, oh, when I was teaching my kid, you know, remind him to do hand washing, things like that. I really wish I had X. I really wish I had Y or Z to make it easier for me. So this is where you go deeper. You can read reviews, start to learn more about the demographic itself. Maybe it's something we put a sensor in here and it talks. So every time the kid comes in the bathroom, which is a little creepy, but just this is where my brain goes when I do product research. Maybe it says, don't forget to wash your hands or something like that in a friendly voice to remind the kid to wash his hands after he goes to the bathroom. Again, that's a little harder because there's a tech side of things, but you know, these things are becoming easier and easier because our tech is getting so advanced. People are mass marketing this stuff that potentially we could do something like that. Maybe it's a whole different product in general. So I actually like this market because if I come up with the right idea, I know I can dominate this market. So I'm going to put kids hand towels in here. I'm going to take this link right here, just the fact of I want the cute designs as well to make sure I differentiate. Could add in more value and variations such as cute animals, as well as the value adds being other products that go with learning kids hygiene. So obviously my English isn't perfect there, but I can read my own notes. So that's something I'm super interested in. I know the keyword volume here was around 480, which again, doesn't make me care too much. I would definitely want to look into other keywords to see if there's more potential here. But again, I know kids' hand towels are always going to be around. And if we get in early enough as Amazon grows, we could potentially be the #1 seller here. And then as Amazon grows, say the search volume goes to 1,000, then to 2,000, then to 3,000 over the next 2-3 years. Obviously, you can't make a fortune on selling these right away, but hopefully you have product 2, 3, 4, 5, and they're all making good margins for you. And those are easier to manage than one product that does 50,000 a month. So we can easily get there with 5 to 10 products that take low management to get it to our revenue goals, whether that's 50,000, 20,000, 100,000 a month. I rather have these smaller products that over time build as assets. The cool thing here, like I said, if Amazon grows from 500 searches to 1,000 searches to 2,000 searches, is that if we're in the #1 ranking spot, if we have the most reviews, as that traffic comes in, we're getting the most sales because we pop up first, right? The #1 guys always get the most sales. We're getting the most sales, then we're getting more reviews than everybody, right? Because it takes sales to get reviews. We're in this uphill spiral of Amazon as it grows and we're stuck in that #1 position. That's when things kind of change in the Amazon world. When you're stuck in the top 3 spots of organic ranking and you benefit from that and the momentum's so large that you just stay there. Okay, that's what we want. It's really hard to crack that top 3. That's why it's so rewarding to get there. And if we have a higher volume product, it takes even more resources to get there, okay? So quickly go into these other ones, fast drying stone, sink kit here. So we see things we could build off each other. Again, they all kind of look the same and I don't know much about this market. So something I want to ignore here. Big green egg cover. Okay, so, we got egg covers here. So this stuff has been more interesting to me lately, okay? Because we could have covers for all sorts of things. Yes, a lot of stuff's branded, but when would someone take and throw away their old cover for a new cover? Who would do this, right? When they're perfectly, it's not broken, it's not anything, it's not ripped, it's just a generic cover. When would they get rid of this to get a new cover? Well, it's because they want a new design, right? They want something that fits more of their personality. They think it's funny, right? So potentially we can look into egg green covers with designs. Maybe one has an American flag on it. Maybe one has camouflage on it. Maybe it has something to do with smoking, right? We got to learn more about this market, which I believe this is just a big smoking grill, if I had a guess here. So we can do things that maybe it's just a bunch of steaks on it or brisket or wood chips that are used for the smoking device. Again, I need to learn more about this product, but that's where my brain goes to get 2 steps ahead because we can test 2 to 3 different designs to see which one sticks better. We can get ideas from Pinterest, YouTube, other sources. Maybe there's some grill forums, things like that, where people are doing unique things. So like I said, if we go to Pinterest here, put egg grill custom covers in, we can start to see other covers that potentially would give us good ideas for variations. So we see like this LSU one. Obviously you can't do college sports because those are all licensed, but if you have the resources to go get licensed, potentially you can look into that. We don't see a lot of designs here in general. So the fact that maybe we're the first ones to try this. Well, we know American flags, camouflages are usually safe things to try first, but then we can get creative on the back end, keep testing new things out, double down on what works first, getting rid of ones that don't work, and just keep creating new ones over and over until you have a whole catalog of grilled cover designs. But this is usually the first place I go for sorts of inspiration for that. Now let's look at the data to make sure that this is even worth looking into. So we see 1,000 searches per month here, all time. We had some troughs and valleys here. 4,000, 5,000. I know in the summertime, this is just going to get more and more popular as people are outside more, grilling, things like that. So I'm totally okay with this. The numbers work out. So let's grab this, put that in here. So we see big green egg covers. So it's a little larger. So we want to look into the smaller ones too to see maybe this one's just for certain designs. Again, this is why we write these things down, because essentially we can go back at any time and do that deeper research before we determine which one's right for us. So everything I'm talking about is essentially what I do for the next steps here. So I'm looking at the data. The data looks fine to me here. Again, you can, use this too, guys, to your advantage. Just read through this and kind of gives you an idea. But again, this is just a rule of thumb when it comes to what's bad, what's good. Just reminders for people, reminders for myself, kind of what I'm looking for. But I don't care too much about this data if I have an angle in the market that I think could work. Okay, so hopefully this has been super helpful for you guys. Obviously, I'll put my notes in here as far as add different custom designs, look into market to see what grills you could cover. If there are big, small, etc. versions, get inspiration from other designs on other platforms to test 2 to 4 variations. Double down on what works. So that's how I do it. Obviously, you can see my top bar here got kind of messy. Like, this is normal, but this is something that has taken me a long time to kind of get better and better and better at it. I'm always learning new ways to do this, but some people just say you need all these unique tools, things like that. No, we use a little bit of data. Okay, data is good, but then we also need our creativity. Okay, creativity is hard for me, so this is why I do it how I do it, because I need to figure out little rabbit holes to get down to, get it kind of excited like a giddy little kid, and just eventually find something that catches my eye, like, oh, this is what I do for this product. This is what I do for this product. Then I eventually pick my favorite ideas, say I do 10 of these ideas, and then I'll grab 3, do deeper looks on, and figure out exactly what I do, figure out the whole market, go deeper, do some market research, read the bad reviews, make improvements. Because improvements, yes, people say you want to make improvements, but that's not enough. That's really not enough. You need to make those improvements regardless. We also need to get 2 steps ahead of just improvements, right? Yes, improvements are needed just to play the game, but we need different designs, different variations to test, potentially add value where we can, look different, such as the gaming console holder. We can have neon lights on it, which will make our main image stick out versus all the competition. That's why I'm not as scared as those higher review people at first, because we have something to cut through the noise of that market. So I hope this has been helpful, guys. Let me know, please let me know in the comments down below if this was helpful, if you made it to the end, because I know this was a longer one. If this has been helpful, again, let me know. Gives me a signal to make more videos like this. And any questions you may have gives me a little bit more insight to what to cover next as well. So if you did like it, make sure you subscribe, because there could be more videos coming. And every time people like, comment, then this video gets pushed to more people in general. If you guys like this video, make sure you check out the other videos on the screen here to go deeper into product research. All right, guys, see you on the next one. Bye.